Mhm.
Good evening. I'm Jerry McIntosh, and this is Community Conversations. This evening, we're going to address the issue of the Delta variant as our top priority this evening. But first, let me go to our host, Mr. Bill Snow, who is the author of From the Projects to the Boardroom, Dr. Isaac Williams, who's the great pastor of Greater Truth Baptist Church.
Sometimes we lose our little thought process here. All of us.
Yeah, that comes with age. And the moderator for this area, also Carol McIntosh, who is a former educated administrative principal and now the president of the Progressive Black Women. Carol, we want to say hello to everybody, and everybody that's watching. We want you to be a part of this and let us know how you feel about what we are talking about this evening.
All right, then let's get this show on the road. You know, we always talk about the virus and the vaccines, and nothing has changed. We're going to continually talk about it and push it, give you information that we think will be pertinent to you making an informed decision. And what we're going to do now is we're going to get right to it, because we're going to ask Dr. Isaac Williams for some updates, and then we're going to talk about some other things that might be going on in regards to the vaccines and the variant. Dr. Williams?
Thank you, Ms. Carol and Jerry and Bill. Good evening to our listening audience. As Ms. Carol stated earlier, nothing has changed. This variant is still running rampant in our community. And as we speaking tonight, close Capitol brother of mine had just, he contracted the virus after having both shots. And he's on the ventilator tonight. He fell a little ill yesterday, and they tried, he's in the Mobile area, they tried to take him over to that Corona.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Monoclonal antibiotic.
Yeah, treatment, but for whatever reason, he couldn't get there in time, and they had to call, and now he's in ICU on a ventilator. And then one of my members, she went to Disney World and come back, and she was sick for a week, and she'd been in the hospital a whole week, and they couldn't get her oxygen up. And then after they couldn't get her oxygen up, then her blood pressure dropped out. And so they took her to ICU. But good news on her, I heard, and I haven't spoken with her, that perhaps she is out of ICU. So in other words, they didn't have to intubate her. And that's a good thing, because once they put you on that ventilator, it's very challenging.
Yes.
And so the challenge is that the hospitals across the South, they're at capacity, very near capacity. And it doesn't seem like the virus is plateauing as of yet. I was speaking with one CEO of a hospital administration, and they said that in Jacksonville, it appears that the virus is starting to plateau, and that in our area, we lag about 10 days. And so if we're lagging by 10 days, and if they're starting to plateau, pretty soon we should plateau and decrease. Now, I think that is hopeful thinking, utopian. I don't think that this thing is waning at all. And so I want to urge everybody, be safe. Even though you've been vaccinated, they tell you that it's only 94% if you got the Moderna and 95%. So that means 5% of people can still get a breakthrough. That's a lot of people. And so stay safe. Listen to the scientists, listen to the virologists, listen to the doctors, and let's get through this thing safe. We're still right around 27 to 28% of Black people in Escambia County vaccinated. That means anytime when you see 100 Black people together, 79, 71 to 72% of those people are not vaccinated. That's not good.
So what do you think that we need to do? Have you thought about, I know you're with a task force, this is a Black and Brown task force. Can you talk a little about that and tell us what you plan to do here in Pensacola?
Thank you, Ms. Carol. Yes, I'm part of the Black and Brown task force, and we have subnamed our task force Stay Safe Pensacola. And I'm working with Jerry and Brabil. He started my kickoff campaign when him and his son-in-law went and took the vaccine. But we got all of our canvassers and our event coordinators. They're starting their training tomorrow, and we're going all in to get as many of our people vaccinated. We're also partnering. Hopefully, I'm going to sign an MOU with Community Health of Northwest Florida with the CEO, Miss Chandra Smiley, and she has consented to be on the show. Her and her COO, CFO, I forget what her title is, Miss Sandra. They want to be on next Sunday night, Miss Carol, if it's okay with you and Jerry. They want to let the community know that not only they want to partner with us in getting vaccination, but they want to partner with the Black community to be primary care physicians for those who don't have money, those who are limited income, that they could come to a trusted venue and a trusted voice in order to get the healthcare need that they so desperately need early on. And so we welcome her. I believe she's going to be an excellent partner with me in this pandemic effort. But we're on the road. We from now until January, we'll partner with Movement for Change to help us in this endeavor. I'll partner with anyone who wants to work with me. My fight is not against any entity or organization. My fight is with this deadly variant and this deadly virus.
Have you thought about, Pastor, how you're going to start implementation of your program? Just one idea do you have on how you're going to get a few people's mind changed in regards to whether or not to take the vaccine?
Yes, I have. Thank you again, Ms. Carol. We have several ideas, and our program, our project director, Ms. Nicole Dixon, tomorrow she's going to begin to roll out the things that we've been talking about behind the scenes. I didn't want to really get ahead of her, but a couple of things that we're going to start doing is PSAs. We want to flood the market with PSAs. We're trying to get community health, and we're going to try to get Northwest, get the hospital all to saturate the Black media in order to drive all the traffic to our website. And then we have like a little, I forget, it's like a little menu that you fill out. And this menu you fill out, and then it's going to be connected directly with Northwest Community Health of Northwest Florida, and then they will screen everybody that's come into this. They'll do a thing called one shot. One shot would then let them know whether if someone have gotten the first shot, the second shot, or whatever. And this is going to be valuable because it's going to be like a safety net and a screening to make sure that they are getting the right dosage that they need, a right shot, and everything. So we want to try to do our rollout this weekend with Brother Jerry and the commemoration of the Voting Right Act of 65.
65.
Yeah, we want to do that. We got some negotiation we have to do tomorrow. Brother Jerry and I, along with Ms. Chandra, to make sure that everything is okay. But if we don't do our major rollout, we start canvassing the area. We have to stay within the city limit zip codes. Our canvassers are gonna start calling and getting everybody lined up, and hopefully we already getting shots in the arm through this one number that I give everybody. If you call my number, I'll send you the link. You can sign up and get shots in the arm. And I have to correct one of the statement I made. I initially said that if you get the shot, you'll get $100. But when I met back with the mayor for clarification, is when you get both shot, you get the $100. And so, but they don't want you to get partially vaccinated. They want you to get fully vaccinated. And so once you get fully vaccinated, but you got my word. If you've already got the shot, you're going to get your $100 if I had to pay it out of my pocket, which I don't have to. But if I have to, everybody that have gotten this shot, through what I told them, you're going to get your $100. And we're not trying to pay you to get the shot. That's peanuts. But that's something just to offset your inconvenience for taking off of work. Perhaps if you feel a little ill the day after, you need to stay home, help you with transportation, or something that said, thank you for partnering with us. So as we try to get back to a new norm, we're not trying to pay nobody. $100 is peanuts compared to what we're trying to do. I would pay you $100,000 to take it. I think we still would be ahead. That would be considered reparation.
Another question I might have, and I'll let someone else jump in. Now, I know that there are a lot of people that do not have transportation, do not have really a way to get to like Brownsville or the community, what you call the place downtown, the health department, whatever. Are you all going into the areas and have like a mobile unit to give shots? And if so, how are you going to handle that? Isn't there a 15-minute wait after you've taken the vaccine shot?
Excellent question. Ms. Sandra, she have committed to allowing us to use her mobile unit. Whenever we can get a group of people together that's 30 or more, she will roll her unit in and will vaccinate them. They have chairs, so they are social distance. Once they get the shot, they can sit and wait 15 minutes. And they don't want them to stay in their cars, because I discussed this with her, because they want to observe you, because if you are sitting in your car, your legs might be twitching, you may be doing something that's a side effect that they can't observe or see it. But if you're sitting out, they're going to have observers watching you to make sure that if something is not going exactly right, they're going to jump on it real quick. So for those who are going to try and get the shot before, we will provide transportation. We'll set up, we had put vouchers in, but I think we're going to kind of change that. We're going to contract with people just to go get them and take them to get the shot. So, but if a person said, I want to get the shots, I need help, transportation, Sister Nicole will insist and ensure that they can get to where they need to go to get the vaccine and get back.
So what you're saying is, through your program, you'll be able to go to them and give them shots, as well as take them to a location, transport them to like Brownsville to get their shots as well?
Absolutely. We're going to go to the different areas as we canvass. Let's say we canvass Added Court. We will canvass them and we'll say, listen, we want to be here to give everybody in Added Court who are willing to take the vaccine. We have to have a 2 weeks notice if we're going to use the mobile unit. So we'll tell them the day, the 22nd. So 2 weeks out, let's say September the 2nd, we're going to be in Added Court, and our canvassers are going to be working that area, getting everybody. And the moment we get 30 people, then we telling them already. And once we get 30 people, it's a go. They go, and so they'll begin to bring the physicians, the nurses, those who are going to give the shots, and we'll make a roll. So we'll go to you. But if you don't want to wait the 2 weeks, and I don't want people to wait the 2 weeks. I want you to get it tomorrow. If you want to get it tomorrow, when you call her, she'll let you know all the locations where you can go on your own. You can go to Brownsville, you can go to Community Health, you can go to Escambia Health Department, you can go to Sacred Heart, you can go to Baptist. I don't care where they get the shot. I want them to get the shot. So, but if you have difficulty getting there, when you talk with, we got cell phone, we got this, I said cell phone. She has another name for them, but when you call that number, they will help you get where you need to go. They are known as case managers, and these case managers are responsible once they make contact with you to get you all the way through the system and get you back home safely if need.
Now, is this process just for first time shots, or can it be for the second shot as well?
Excellent question. In order for integrity of the program, I've ran across some folks saying, Reverend Williams, I've gotten my first shot, but I want to get the second shots. Can I get the $100? And initially, I wanted to say yes, but the program is for people who have gotten their first shot. Now,
yeah, but not disregarding the $100.
Right.
Could they get their second shot through your program?
The second shot, we will be more than glad to help them. They will help our numbers, but the $100 is the kind of like the incentive participation to get them to do it. But if you taken the first shot, and the young lady I met, she was reluctant to go and take the second one, and I kind of encouraged her, and I told her the truth of the matter, she didn't tell me she had taken the first shot, and I told her that I have an incentive program. If you go take it, that you can get $100. She said, okay. And then she said, well, I got to be honest. I said, okay. She said, I've taken the first one, but I've been reluctant. And I said, well, it's for the first shot. I want to do it. I need to get clarification, but it's for the first shot, for the incentive. But we'll help you get the first shot, the second shot, or the booster shot, which will be coming on board most likely September the 20th. We help people get that booster shot, and Northwest Florida, Community Health of Northwest Florida will track all of that. And they gonna call people back up. Everybody who's gotten their first shot, they gonna call you to remind you, listen, we need you to come on in and get that shot.
Now for the program, these are just questions coming to me for clarification. On the program, you're saying the first shot is what have to be on your program. Now, how do they know? Did you have a starting date for your first shot? Well, like you said, everyone that took their shots from such and such date on, is there a time? Because someone can come, about 2 or 3 months later before and say, well, I have my first shot. Is there a deadline?
I can't go back. Because.
Well, how far back can you go? Was it last week, 2 weeks? She's been talking about it for.
I explained it, but Jerry, I explained it. In order for them to get the money for the shot, they got to go through this portal. Once they go through that portal, they get in the system. If you didn't go through the portal to get in the system, you can't get the money.
Wait a minute, you didn't tell me that now. My mom got her first shot. I didn't know nothing about a portal. You just, I'm just saying, you didn't tell me about a portal. She got a shot Wednesday. Yay for mama.
But you had already told me, so I'm aware of her, but I should have sent you the link for the portal. The portal, once you get in there, this puts you in a database so that we track you. We know you got in and started the day. So in fact, I'm going to, the program started also, this is another, what word I'm looking for. So we can tell that you started once the program, from the date that we went on TV with Brother Bill, that's the day I announced it. So if you got your shot after that date, you good. But to just make sure everything is going, you should go through this portal. I said on the TV, anybody want to get the shot, give me a call first before you do it. And then my intent was when they gave me a call, I was going to reroute them to Nicole, or I would myself would send them that link and they'll get in that database. But if that was not clear, and I know it wasn't you because you talked to me prior, your mother is good. I'm going to send you that link when we get off tonight, and you go ahead and enroll your mother and she's good to go.
Okay, I'm just clarifying because you know what this is very important, and you don't want people just coming. So if you have the date, find the date that Bill was on Channel 3 News. From that point on, if you've taken a shot and contacted you and Nicole, then you are okay.
Yes.
And just for clarity, because you know how things get when you don't have clarity. Anyone else have any questions in regards to
Yeah,
that program?
I like to ask the good doctor, just a hypothetical. Someone took the first shot 4 months ago, has been reluctant in getting the second shot, and now that the incentive is out, what would be the effects of them playing possum and getting that first shot just to get the $100? Is there any medical drawback to them already having been vaccinated with shot one, then coming back through and getting vaccinated with shot one again, and then in 4 weeks getting that second shot? Because I'm telling you, there's some folk out here for $100 would take some chance and risk. So if you would address that for us, Doc.
Thank you, Mr. Snow. Excellent question. Miss Sandra Smiley, she wants us to make sure we send those personnel to her. But once they get in the portal, when we connect with them, they're going to screen them through one shot, because there may be some disadvantages of taking that second shot. I think they give you, I think it's like a 2 to 6 week window that you need to take the second shot after the first one in order for it to be, I'm wrong, not 2 to 6 weeks. You got to be 20 days, 28 days out, basically a month. But from that 28th day, somewhere between 2 weeks to 6 weeks from that date, you have to get that second shot, I think, for it to have the full maximum potential for your coverage. But they still may go ahead and give them that second dosage then. But they know what to do. So if you know someone, they call me. When we send them the one shot through her, they're gonna flag them, and then they will tell them that you may have a problem. That makes sense, sir?
No, because I think my question is more medical. Someone that has taken the shot 4 months earlier and do not disclose to anyone when they get in the portal, be it they go to CDS to get a shot in the arm, they don't disclose, I have already received shot one. But for the $100 sake, they go and get the supposedly first shot again. What are the medical ramifications on them getting that first shot again, and then 4 weeks later possibly getting dose number 2?
They can't get that first shot again through one shot. One shot has
you don't know, doctor. They're not telling anybody that they've already taken the one. I want to know if there are any ramifications for them taking the first shot again when they've already taken the first shot. Will they go in to get $100 and drop dead? Okay,
this is what I'm trying to say, Brother Snow. One shot is the universal system for the United States, that whenever they got that first shot, they had to be reported into one shot. So when you try to go and get a first shot again, the system gonna flag you. They already know you've already gotten the first shot.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you. That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Let me say this. My sister just said that our niece was admitted to the hospital yesterday in the ICU at Baptist Hospital in South Haven, Mississippi. And so that's news to me. So I get to call them and see what's up.
And she also says that to be praying. But Michael Wilkerson said they wouldn't allow him to get his second shot before his 2 weeks, not even by 1 day. I want to finish the screen here.
Wow.
They got a system that once you get that shot, that's why I thought it was very interesting and important that the CEO of Community Health want to partner with me, and she's gonna do all the screening and protect and make sure that, because I can't have access because I'm not a medical professional. I think I ain't gonna say that. We're gonna keep it serious. They would do all the screening for me. And so this person you talking about, Brother Snow, they can't get around the system because they're already in the system. Every shot that been given has to be accounted for to the federal government.
Okay.
Now, we want to say this is a good time to have prayers for Reverend and Mrs. Jesse Jackson. Y'all heard about it, that they are in the hospital and they need your sincere prayers. And it sounds as though it's a real serious situation. So we want prayers for Reverend and Mrs. Jesse Jackson out of Chicago.
Do you mind we pray?
No. Just a short prayer for him, because
okay, don't pray too much.
No, let's not pray the whole show.
Hey, some folks go in the spirit realm and
all right, Pastor. Let's
pray. Shall we bow our heads and our hearts humbly? God, we come in your presence this hour because you're giving us permission because of your children. And with that permission, oh God, we enter your presence right now, and we lift up Rogeria's niece, and we lift up the Jackson family. We lift up my Kappa brother. We lift up my member. We lift up all those that's under the sign of our voice who have been affected by this variant and this virus. We lift them up in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. And God, we stand on your word, for you said in your word, by my stripes we are healed. So we ask you in the name of the Lord Jesus, God, that you release healing now. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Now, let's go to the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccines were authorized for emergency use. We all know that. And now they're pushing. They said by next week, we might have the Pfizer FDA approved. Is that going to make a difference from the just emergency use to FDA approval?
Yes,
do you think it's going to make an effect on the outcome, Pastor?
It will make effect in several areas. For example, the military won't mandate that you take a vaccine until it's been FDA approved. Now that it's been FDA approved, the military and several other entities will mandate you taking the shot. So that's a major step. The only problem is that we don't know how long it's going to be for Moderna has FDA approval. So for everyone that got the Pfizer, they're going to be mandated to take that shot. And so that's really big, because then all the colleges and all these entities, they're going to mandate you take that shot.
Would that affect the schools? You know, with the children going back to school, or they're back in school. I think in Chicago, though, they are back in school after Labor Day. But will that have an impact on whether or not teachers will need to be mandated to be vaccinated before school starts, or now? Will that make any impact on the educational system?
In my estimation, absolutely. Because just like if they tell you have to get, like I went to Morehouse, they sent an immunization checklist, a medical checklist, before they would have allow you to be admitted into the program. And so they're going to require in a lot of areas that you get this card. I know some people gonna buy it on the black market. I talked with a guy yesterday, a couple of days ago. He said he know people paying $1,500 to get fake cards. And he said how stupid it is. You pay $1,500 to get a fake one when you can get a real one for free.
That's true.
You know, and then you know, it's good that it's gonna, but the children that's in 12 and under is what I'm concerned about. And the reason I'm concerned about it, because you know, you still got people and the children that got parents won't take the vaccine to save their children, and at the same time their children are going to school. Now you got thousands of children are now going into the hospitals all over the country. And then in the school system, you got children and staff that's isolated. I think in Georgia, around 20,000. And here in Florida, is 10,000 people being infected a day. I think it was, you know, some 80,000 overall in hospitals here. That, you know, so it's really getting out of hand. They had said 3 million people is infected in the state of Florida, one of the highest in the country. And here in Alabama is already out of beds. So it's just, this thing is running rapid around the country.
So
it's raging.
So will the FDA approval, you think, Jerry, change those outcomes that you just talked about?
I think on some levels, but I don't think it's gonna, not until they approve the vaccine for children in the lower grades. It's gonna be devastating, because if the parents got it, the children get it, and then they're gonna give it. They're gonna pass this thing around. If the parents have it and give it to the children, it's I think it was an 8-month-old baby today. They had there's in the ICU in critical care. It's children, young children now that's in critical care. One doctor said, you know, these young men that come in all buffed and everything, they find out they thought they didn't have to take the vaccine, and now they're, you know, in the ICU, you know, on ventilators and all of that, because they can't breathe.
Yeah. So Bill, so do you think, I'm asking you the same question, you know, because they're acting as though, okay, if the FDA approve it, then it's going to make a big impact, and people are then going to go out and take that vaccine just because of the fact that it's been now approved officially. What do you think about that?
You know, Miss Carol, that's a real tough one, because some folk are so dug in on this thing. I mean, it absolutely makes zero sense. There has to be a profit. Somebody has to be getting greased, especially in places like Florida, where they're insisting on no mask mandates for our children. We've got healthcare workers that are dug in. They say that they're tired from the first go round, but they themselves are dug in with not wanting to take the vaccine. So I don't know that the FDA approval will spur more folks to start being vaccinated. I certainly hope so. But the ones that aren't vaccinated to this point, with all of what is going on around us, Ms. Carol, I tell you, I don't know. Because that's a government agency, and that's where the distrust is already with the government. So I don't know that them signing on and saying that you know, that they are back behind it, that it will put more shots in on. I certainly hope it does. So
I heard that
that we're getting ready for SEC football, ACC football, and they love to pack those stadiums with 50, 75, 150,000 people. These schools going to begin to mandate, because it's revenue. They're going to mandate, and the good thing that I believe about this, once you get these college age students vaccinated, they're going to encourage folk back home where they from, because they want to play sports. They want to try to go to the next level. And so I think it can have a domino effect when these schools, once that FDA approval and they begin to mandate it, then they're going to tell everybody, listen, y'all, if we're going to be in these stadiums, we don't want to play the empty stadiums no more. We want to play in front of fans. And so I think it can have a domino effect. I want to be optimistic. I hopefully optimistic. I believe that we can get through this here. It's kind of dark right now, but I believe everybody, like what you are doing, and Bill and Jerry and the list, anybody who can nudge this needle, if who's listening to me could have listened in to the conversation between me and my member. What's today? Sunday. I can't get my days straight right now. Sunday. I think it was Friday.
Yeah, it was Friday.
Yeah, I was speaking with her, and she was crying. She was very fearful. And I had tried to encourage that young lady to get the vaccine, and she wouldn't do it. and then when it look and so I believe she'll be a living testimony that she had some pre-existing condition, the reason why she didn't take it. But to me, if you got pre-existing condition, that would be the number one reason why you want to take it.
Right. Absolutely.
And so,
Absolutely.
so I think we're going to have testimonies that's going to kind of help nudge this. You're going to have that 25%, that maybe 33%. I hope we can cut between 25 and 33. If we can get to 70%, that's herd immunity, plus with all the ones who've been already infected, then we can flatten this curve and we can get through this. And so I'm hopeful. I'm gonna do everything I can.
I know you will. I know you said something that hit my ear was we need testimonies. And I think you're so right, because there are a lot of situations out there. If they would have that testimony and share their testimony, that's powerful. A man on television today was talking about his family. He said he had a baby at home. He had another 5-year-old that had heart condition. And then he had another child that was like in 1st or 2nd grade. Well, the child that was 5 years old caught COVID because the child, just a mild case of COVID, because the child had a heart condition and an immune system was weak. Now, they're saying that this child that's in 1st grade has to go to school because there's no more virtual schooling. And so they said he has to report to school. So his situation is twofold. Do I send my child out there? Let me say, the child with the cancer did not have COVID. The father was worried about if the child goes out, the 1st grader goes out, comes back home, because we talked about the kids that don't have their mask on all day, doing gym, doing music while they eat. There are a lot of situations in the school setting where they don't have a mask on. Bring that back into the house. Well, his baby, his daughter, that's just has heart surgery.
One of them had stage 4 cancer.
That's one. It was cancer. So these are situations and testimonies, and they asked him, said, well, what did you decide? He said, my child will not go to school. I'm keeping him. He said, even though I want the education for my child, I cannot send my child out there, first of all, for him to catch it, and then, or for him to bring it back. So these testimonies, I think, would be powerful to change people's minds.
And we have some people that said they would do it. I had talked to Ellison Bennett. He had it twice. And he said he would talk about his situation. Then another brother I talked to, he said he would come on and talk about, because like they said, just because you live don't mean that you're over it.
Right.
You still have issues, long-term issues from this. And the thing that I worry about the most with our children going back into the school is that if they get it, what are the long-term effects? What would it, because it causes, they know that it causes memory loss and all of that, and could be a component to early Alzheimer's disease, onset of Alzheimer's disease. So it's so many things that worries me about children going back to school with this Delta variant, which is more infectious and more 55% more transmittable than the variants we've had before. And each time it mutates, it gets stronger. And that's why it's so important that we tamp this thing down, because eventually, if it keeps getting stronger, the effects of the vaccine will be non-invasive.
Right, absolutely. And that's what they're really concerned about too. Now, Dr. Williams, you talked about the monoclonal antibody treatment for COVID. That's the where it's intravenous, but now I think they can give it also by shot injection. That's for people that supposedly it says a treatment is for people who have tested positive for COVID-19 and are not sick enough to be in the hospital. So that's why you have COVID. And I think Trump got it, and some other people at the White House got it. And they said that you had to ask for this treatment. Are you familiar with the treatment and how it works any kind of way, Dr. Williams?
I am. In fact, the governor here in the
Yeah.
state of Florida is setting a site up in Fort Walton. And also he's going to set a site up in I think Alachua County. He's going to set two up so that anytime a person tests positive, which is just kind of just oxymoronic what he's doing. He doesn't
Right.
prevent the spread, but then if you get sick, he wants you to go and get these antibodies, monoclonal, that it will prevent you from getting severely ill, and you won't have to go to hospital. You have to get it before you get a certain level of sickness in your body. Like my friend, he was supposed to go yesterday to get it, but I understand that maybe he had a fever. He had something that I don't know, he didn't qualify. You got to still qualify to get this treatment. And so you go, it used to you have to get it in a hospital setting, but now they are setting up like little pop-up places where you just go there, and it's as soon as you test positive, if you start to feel any type of side effect from that COVID, then you go and get this treatment, and it's to prevent you from becoming severely ill, which is a great treatment. They had this treatment all along. Even though Trump was severely ill, they still gave him that treatment. And so I think it'll help even if you were severely ill. But like Sacred Heart now is like giving it to people, but you still almost have to ask for it.
You have to ask for it.
Yeah, you got to ask for it, and I think that's wrong. When you go into the emergency room, if they think that you done had a stroke, the first thing they do, they give you an MRI or they do a CAT scan. They automatically will do certain things. Well, if they got COVID, won't you automatically do that? You know, the government they bought so much of this antibiotics, it's just stored up. Why they storing it up, I'm not exactly sure. But won't you just give it to people as soon as they test positive? Everybody, till you run out of it or whatever. Not everybody, because some people don't have no symptom. But every person that has a symptom, if this person's saying that I done lost my taste, I done lost my smell, you ought to pop them with it, because that's a sign that you can get more ill, you can become sicker. So let's stop that. But if you don't ask for it, they wait till you go to the emergency room, and then normally it's more emergency action they got to take, urgent action they got to take.
Can you tell me why the governor is against the vaccines or the vaccinations, and now, but he's for this monoclonal antibiotic treatment?
I can tell you that.
Why is he? Why? I don't understand it.
His buddy that gave him $10 million is one of the people that run this thing, and so they are invested in it, and he's helping his buddy get his money back for pushing this virus. I mean, for pushing this drug, and which is more expensive than the vaccine. So the thing about it, he's helping all his buddies get all their money back that they are invested into it, and they are trying to make even more money from it.
Two reasons along exactly what Jerry said. One is political. He knows that if he's against this vaccine, that he's going to hold on to what they call the base of their voters. He doesn't want anybody to come in the primary and get him out of there. So the base of his constituencies, they are against the vaccine. They are against masking. And so that 33%, he's placating them because they are listening to Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is a snake. And he doesn't know that he playing with a snake, but that Donald Trump would turn right around and bite him. As soon as he make things look bad for him. And right now, this COVID is making him look bad. And Trump will say in a few more months, I don't know him. I really never met him. I heard he was a nice guy, but I don't know him. And he will throw him under the bus with all these people dead and all these young folks infected with disease over foolishness. When we got to the point where we won't trust science and the doctors and the scientists, and it's all because they politicized this from the very beginning. When Trump said, "Oh, it's just like a little cold
flu,
it's gonna disappear." And then if you get sick, maybe if you drink a little bleach, it'll just wash you out. All this foolishness, and people are dying. And so I pray that God will have mercy on him. I pray that he'll get saved. And that once he gets saved, he will use that now to help the people. I pray that he'll get saved.
Well, last night he got booed in Alabama. He told the people, because he was talking about taking the vaccine. They booed him.
I didn't see that. So getting saved.
He had a rally. He had a rally over in Alabama last night.
And so he's promoting it now.
Yeah, he was asking people to do the vaccine, and he got booed over there.
You must be watching Fox News, but Jared, where you get that from?
No, it was on MSNBC. Yeah, no, I wouldn't get him. I can't watch liars day and night, So, I'm barely getting through MSNBC now and the CNN.
I don't like CNN no more. I don't like it. They placate to them too much. I don't like them.
They do. Yeah. But
I was just gonna say, the thing about this governor here, Jeff DeSantis, is he want to be a dictator. And he using Florida as his template for the national stage, so that he can start his dictatorial, autocratic form of government that he think he's going to win in 2004. So 24. That's 24. So we have to make sure that we keep eye on him and make sure that we don't let him get to nowhere near the White House. Like Trump shouldn't have never been there.
Well, let me talk about this. I'm gonna read this. The Food and Drug Administration warned the public against using the animal parasite medicine as an ivermectin to treat a COVID-19 infection at home. Have y'all heard of this medicine called, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but ivermectin, which some people are using now. It is basically for animals such as horses, and it's used to deworm them. And this is true. This is not anything that's made
people
up.
In the hospital right now.
And so the FDA is trying to warn people that this is not something that humans should be taking, because the doses for an animal is not the same as for a human. So why I'm trying to understand why you won't take the Pfizer or the Moderna or even Johnson & Johnson, but you would take something like this? Does that make sense? Have y'all ever heard of ivermectin before?
I have. The reason why they started taking that medicine, if you'll go back and roll the tape, about a month ago, Fox News, every one of their hosts started telling them that this was a treatment for COVID, that it has been successful overseas, and started telling them to take it. And even the manufacturer of this medicine put out warning, do not take this. This medicine has not been proven to do anything for COVID. They're still taking it because—
So it is true.
Yes, they start listening to Sean Hannity and that other old Carlson, whatever his name. Each one of them, each evening, they was telling them to start taking this medicine, that it was a good treatment. Just like, you remember, Trump kept promoting this one medication that
I remember.
He fired this one guy from the CDC or wherever he worked up there, because he wouldn't go along with him. He kept to my, oh, this good for you, this good for you. And but they had no proof that, but this medicine, not only won't help with curing you of the virus, it is dangerous and it's causing you to be hospitalized for taking it.
Yeah, right. That's what it says. Mainly because it wasn't created for people.
Right.
It was for animals, horses, and a horse's body and mass is totally different from a person's body and mass. So if it says, say for instance, if it says 1 ounce for a horse, a human can't even take that 1 ounce. You take 1 ounce and you're
gonna drop dead.
Right.
And
so,
I hope your listening audience know, please do not take that medicine.
Right.
It is dangerous, it's deadly, and it won't do anything for you. Please.
Not only do not take it, but do not take anything that you hear come over your favorite news network that says it may be safe, and because of their position on a news talk show. I mean, come on.
Yeah, because like you said, they have politicized this thing, and the thing about it, only when people get sick do they listen to a scientist. The same people that are now saying they won't take the vaccine are the first one that take up all the beds from people that need heart treatment, strokes, blood transfusion, all kinds of stuff, trauma from accidents. These same people will tell you, they're listening to Sean Hannity and all of them, but as soon as they get sick, they run to the scientists who they should have been listening to all along, instead of listening to Trump and DeSantis and Governor Abbott and all of them out in these people around the country who has not the best interest their own constituency at heart. That's what's so dangerous.
And what is also so dangerous is that they won't listen to the scientists and doctors. They listen to Sean and them, and then they're gonna take up that bed before they would.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I don't think that's fair.
That
I
is
really
not fair.
don't.
That's these USA.
Shouldn't they sign, if you don't want to take the vaccine, then shouldn't you sign some type of waiver? And if you sign that waiver and you get sick, you don't take up a hospital bed.
Ms. Carol, that's an interesting discussion. It came up with one of the officers in our church. It was between him, his wife, and his sister. And the question came up, is it morally, hey, Jane, get that, please. Turn it off real quick. I don't know, turn it off from baby. That the people who, just turn it off. The people who won't take the vaccine, should we feel sorry for them when they get real ill or die? Now, that's a moral and that's a moral question.
Yeah.
And I want to argue, yes, you should. We should be a compassionate, caring people, even though the ones that won't take the vaccine, if they get sick, we still should treat them, because for whatever a reason that they are doing that, it doesn't make any sense to us, but for them, it makes sense. And so we have to be prayerful, and yet we have to be compassionate to them until we get to the side. So the way we do it, we continue to encourage them, their loved ones. Hey, you got to take this shot. You got to get it. You got to get it. I got my shot in December, and I should be getting my booster. But Jerry, Michelle, I wish we can do it on your show. I think we can set it up. We can do it on your show. I get my booster on your show here. We make a PSA. We run it across the Panhandle. I do believe that the people on this show have a tremendous amount of influence. We can help move the dial. If it's just one person at a time, well, let's do that. With everyone, we get a little closer.
I think that we should have compassion on folks that do not take the, but I think that the ones that has been vaccinated should get priority.
Yeah.
We should have compassion and we should treat them. But those are the ones that should end up in the tent and
Right. I'm trying to agree with Bill.
Bill saying they should be in the tent out there.
Right, because
they calling black and brown folk away for these folk that will not, that are so dug in.
Oh, yeah, I hear you.
They are. They are. Now,
they are.
Now, you said something about the booster shot. Now, listen to this. A debate is, should you have a booster shot? But since children under 12 years of age cannot get the their first vaccine yet. And there's some other countries, there's some other countries haven't had one as well. I mean, this is the debate. So
Ms.
should someone now get a third shot?
Ms. Carol, this whole pandemic has been mismanaged from the start.
Yeah.
You may recall the last president, he withdrew from WHO.
Right.
He withdrew from the premier health organization in the world who wanted to, and who needed the United States to give them money so that they can purchase from, I think it's China or India, maybe India. Well, it's one, I forget the country, who they make about 90% of all the vaccines. They withheld, the United States withheld funding from the WHO so that this country could have made vaccine for people for the whole world. So that's the first thing that the United States under Donald Trump, and I believe that God going to judge the United States for that, because we allowed Trump to do it. We did. We did. Yeah, we did. We didn't crowd against that narcissistic. I don't want to get mean.
He didn't do it. They did it because we were crying loud, but it just wasn't enough of us.
When enough of us crying loud. But anyway, so then once they started this whole process, it was, you remember he turned down 600 million doses to start off. He wouldn't buy it from Pfizer. So all along, he mismanaged the pandemic, he mismanaged the vaccine, and then he mismanaged the rollout. So everything that this administration is doing is kind of catch up. Although now he's been in office now about 200 days, he should be sped up to par a lot better. The gist of the fact is that they should be spending a lot of money now with the World Health Organization, getting these vaccines so all these other people can at least get their first dosage, and at the same time continue to booster the citizen in America. And they didn't do enough trial testing for the children. They don't know what's the right amount of dosage, like you said, for the horse and the human. They don't want to give a child too much of this vaccine that's going to actually hurt that child. So if the child is already healthy, now you give them too much of this vaccine, you mess up his or her organs, you've caused more damage than good, because the first law of the medical profession is do no harm. And so you can't, even though we want to go ahead and get the young people vaccinated, the trial data is not in, so to say whether it's okay to give them this vaccine at this time. And I know the question, I know this question. Some saying, well, what's the difference between 11 and 12? What's the difference between a guy is 11 today, he can't get it, but tomorrow he's 12? And that's a legitimate question. But in life, you always have to have a dividing line with everything. You have to, you just got to do it. It's just life. Could they go back to 10-year-old? Can they go back to 8-year-old? Well, okay, you keep going back. Now you're back to 4 years old. Now you're back to 3. Now you're back to 2. Now you're back to infants. And now you may be creating more long-term. You may be starting to create muscles. And we don't want that. We want to make sure that it's safe and the efficacy is good with this vaccine. And so we need more trials. I pray that we don't lose none of our children. I know they're getting sick, but I hope that they'll have that data around about October.
I sincerely know what you mean, Doc, about we. I know you're speaking in terms of the American people, but it was enough of us that opposed this idiot that I refuse to be in that we number. They did it, and they should be held accountable.
Yeah, and you know, we've said all along that somebody should stand trial for
Yes.
crimes against humanity.
Yes.
That took place not just overseas, but here in America. Because we, you know, they said early on that the most people we would have lost around 10,000 if we'd have rolled this thing out right and took the information that was given to us early on and used it for the benefit of this country and around the world. So in America, we would have had maybe 10,000, they said, may have died. And they thought that it would have been less than that. But they at first, they lied about how you could get contaminated with it. Because anytime this thing started moving as fast as it did, I told Kara early on, so that's got to be airborne. That can't be somebody bringing that here and you know, and just a few, you know, if a few hundred people come on a plane and they can contaminate a whole city. No, that's got to be airborne. And then they finally said it was airborne, that, you know, you could catch it from, you know, just breathing on somebody or somebody breathed on you. So the thing about it, they did a disservice to all those people that died.
Yes.
It's still being a disservice done to people by the lies that are spread through the media and some parts of the media, I would say. And on social media, it's, you know, and just like when they say, okay, we're gonna do Pfizer already, it's conspiracy theory. They only doing it because they want people to take the shot. Well, yeah, they want people to take the shot. They've been telling you that for a year. You know.
Yes.
Yeah, it's something else. Well, let me say this. They said large insurers have stopped waiving COVID-19 treatment costs and analysis, and hospitalizations could cost you thousands. So do you know, Pastor, if that's true, that now, you know, before when you get in the hospital, if it was for COVID, then you didn't have to pay the cost, the hospital bills. But they're saying now they're changing that. Is that true?
Well, I know a personal example with a pastor here. He died from complication of COVID. And well, I don't know firsthand, but this is what I was told by a very reliable source. One of the reason that they basically let him expire because of the medical costs that it was causing him to be in ICU, and they were only going to pay a certain amount of money. And with the insurance coverage, what he had, I guess they admit, because he had been in now about 30 days. But I tried to do a little research on there, and I talked to a person that I think had more information on that. And they said that really wasn't true, is that this person, they didn't stop the treatment because of payment. They stopped the treatment because the person had a couple more major medical issues while in, and that they didn't see how that person could survive with the complication of COVID and the two other things that happened while he was in there. So it's out there, but I'm not exactly sure that it's accurate that they will stop paying for the COVID treatment. Now, some people will end up with a big medical bill if you don't have no insurance.
Well, you know, it's been all over, Doc, that there's people that do have big medical bills, even before the insurance stopped paying. But, you know, because at first, before the government started covering a lot of it through the Medicaid program, a lot of people came out $200,000-$300,000 in debt that they owed to the hospitals. And then these insurance companies, they have to cover so much, and then they want to drop people, even though the law said they can't. But they are still trying to get out of paying these huge hospital bills.
Would that be a reason why some of the people are being sent home? I'm just asking if they check there and see if they do not have insurance or they have minimal insurance and they have COVID. Is a possibility that they could be sent home because of the fact of their insurance coverage?
Can I do some research on that so that when I come back next week, I'll have an informed answer. I don't want to mislead folk from my intuition. I think Jared is 100% accurate. I do believe that those who had this big bill, they didn't have coverage to begin with, or they had very limited coverage, but they may have had coverage and it whatever. But I have a few contacts I'll call and I'll get back. And so, because that's very important. If you
It is.
now and you're going to come out the hospital, you're over COVID, but you $300,000 in the hole.
Absolutely.
No doubt.
Serious. That's serious.
No doubt in my non-doctor mind that anyone that goes to the emergency room without insurance is going to get first-rate treatment. There's no doubt, and they're just not going to get it. It's not going to happen. Everything is based and built around the Almighty, and that's just a hard fact.
So why are some people sent home and some people are not sent home?
That's part of it. To me, now this is just Brother Snow. Race is the first question or issue with that. Believe it or not, if there's two of us, and before any stats, insurance, or anything is checked, one black, one white, we know that white person has the upper hand automatically. Now, the second reason I think would be insurance. Once the insurance is checked, that person that insurance or lack thereof is odds on favorite going to be sent home.
And do they count, Pastor Williams? Do they count when a person comes to the hospital, they are diagnosed with COVID, they're sent home. If that person dies at home, is that a part of the COVID number?
Yeah, well, they still got to do autopsy. The funeral home have to test and do autopsies and show how that person died. So, yeah.
What happens? They have the medical examiner. Once the person dies, he has to come and sign off on the cause of death. Now, early on, the death scientist, he did not want those to be considered. He didn't want those numbers counted. So if they could attribute it to natural death in any kind of way, they attribute it to natural death. But if you got COVID, most likely now, and you die, I think they got a term. My daughter uses that term. I think it's called length of stay. Length of stay. Length of stay. And if it happens within a certain, like maybe 3 days or whatever afterward, I think that they probably want to attribute to COVID.
650,000 people go bankrupt each year due to medical bills only in America, says Michael Wilkerson on our Facebook page.
So you know then that COVID is definitely is not going to change that. That's been going on for a while.
Let's talk about some of the symptoms of since people want to know what's in the vaccine. Let's talk about what's in the virus.
Well, that's not the symptoms of the virus. This is let me explain that.
Okay, that's okay.
That's this Bill, you're familiar with this
myocarditis.
Right. And it's an inflammation of the heart muscle. And it's happening with people that have COVID. And it says the inflammation can reduce your heart's ability to pump and cause rapid or abnormal heart rhythms. This happens, see here, this happens when you, like if you don't take the shot, I think it is, or is it due to the fact that you haven't taken the shot and this is something that can happen to you?
Also,
I'm just checking that out to see. It's not an effect of the vaccine.
Mhm. No, that's what I'm saying. That I was going to talk about some of the side effects of that that virus, that virus.
Okay, since we're on this one, let's talk about these side effects. Then we talk about the variants at all.
Mhm.
Bill,
Ma'am.
Bill.
Mhm.
Now, can you answer that? Is this pronounce that again? Myocarditis.
Myocarditis.
Myocarditis. Is this something, and the pastor can help? Is this something that happens due to the fact that you catch COVID and this can happen to you, or is a long-term effect of COVID with this heart problem? Do you know, or Pastor, do you know? Can you hear me?
I can. I thought you wanted Brother Bill to address
No,
it.
no, that's a doctor question.
That's new to me, so
Oh, okay.
I don't want to mislead anyone. I can't. Yes.
From the way it looks, Miss Carol, it doesn't appear to have any. It's just something that seems similar. It appears. Myocarditis appears to be a heart condition and can be affected. Now, I think it's saying that from a shot for COVID, that it could trigger if you already have that speeds up the heart.
Thank you, Bill. Because I see here it says sometimes it can be a result from a reaction to a drug or to part of a more general inflammatory condition.
Right.
So it might be a response to the vaccine.
Yes.
But people need to be aware of it because they need to know if they get the vaccine and they have these symptoms that they need to call their doctor, go to the hospital. And I'm just going to give you the symptoms. Bill, do you have that in front of you?
Yes, ma'am. Chest pain is one of them. Rapid or abnormal heartbeat. See, these things, they're throwing them in there because they can seem like COVID, but there's actually myocarditis. So shortness of breath or during an activity, fluid buildup with swelling of your legs, ankles, and feet, fatigue, other signs and symptoms of variation infection, such as headache, body ache, joint pain, fever, sore throat, and diarrhea. So since those are also signs of COVID, I guess they're saying to not get them misconstrued, this myocarditis.
But there are a lot of children getting this.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
That catch COVID. This is the side effect from the children catching COVID.
Yeah.
And so they need to really watch this for their children, most of all, because they're just finding this out. And again, it's fever, fainting, breathing difficulties, rapid breathing, chest pain, and rapid or abnormal heart rhythms. So if your child is not vaccinated and they have any of these symptoms, they need to take the child to the doctor as soon as possible.
Yes.
Now, Jerry, you were talking about some other symptoms?
I was just going to talk about some of the side effects of COVID. I know we've talked about it before, but I like to keep people understanding how this thing works because everybody want to know the side effects of the vaccine. But the first side effect of COVID, it caused severe illness, death, lung problem, fatigue, a decline in the quality of life, muscle problems, joint pain, labor, breathing, palpitation, chest pain, some of the same thing that other things have in children. Chronic kidney disease, hair losses, brain fog, headaches, sleep disturbance, PTSD, anxiety, depression, neurologies, problems, early onset of Alzheimer's disease, and loss of a lot of your vision in some places, your taste and all that.
So what you're saying, well, a lot of people say they've gotten COVID, they're saying you don't want it.
Right.
They're saying you don't want it. You know, that's what we're trying to tell people. And we're talking about it the whole show because we're in a life and death situation right now. And so we've got to make you aware. We're giving you facts, we're giving you information, we're giving you myths, we're giving you all this information and things so you can make an informed decision. Now, I want the pastor to end this. We're getting close to our end time. Can you tell our viewers and listeners again why it's important to be vaccinated?
Thank you, Ms. Carol. And in my estimation, we have prayed, we have sought the Lord for deliverance. We've cried unto the Lord, and He responded, and He gave us a miracle rapidly, about 9 months to a year, and He gave us this miracle in the form of this vaccine. And the reason why I believe that we ought to take this vaccine is that God is saying to us tonight, just as He said to Joshua and Caleb, that I need you all on the other side of this pandemic, just as I need Joshua and Caleb on the other side of the wilderness. A lot of people may not be aware, but only 2 adults above the age of 20 survive the wilderness experience.
That's right.
We don't all have to die in this pandemic. We can get to the other side if we would take this medicine, take this vaccine. We'll take the advice of these medical authorities. They are the clarion call. They are warning us. Listen, if you don't do this, death and destruction. And one lady said to me, well, Pastor, God got me covered and I don't need to do this. I said, He has you covered, but also just as He told the people of Israel when the death angel was going to ride in Egypt, He said, the death angel going to ride tonight.
Yeah.
There's going to be a great cry. He said, but if you want to survive this death cry, you need to take the blood and put it over the lintel post. This vaccine is that same blood. If you want to survive this death cry, put this vaccine over you. That's why we need to take it.
Okay, thank you, Pastor. Phil Snow, you know, just let's go back. You were an advocate. You didn't believe in the vaccine. You didn't believe in it for a long time. And talk about why, just briefly, why you changed your mind so that others might know what your process was.
Well, you know, I'm a praying man like the doctor, and he just took us to church, and I want to give a big old amen.
I tell you.
But after careful prayer and consideration, now a person, ignorance is not a bad word when one just doesn't know. But when given a different set of information and you choose to remain ignorant, then you're the blame. So after I got different facts and different sets of information, I made a wise decision. Now, believe it or not, I am on the same page with the good doctor in the sense that they were told to put the blood on the doorpost. All of that came up as I prayed on this thing. So I know that we are together on this. I know that my peace of mind since having taken this vaccine is so tremendous. I mean, I can't wait till my second dose, and I can't wait to be an advocate for people to get out and get this vaccine. We got nurses and people that have come down with this thing and come out and say, one guy on his deathbed, I should have taken the DAMN virus. Yes, he should have. Yes, we should. We've got to do this so that we can quickly get to that herd immunity so that we can begin eradicating it here and then start eradicating this thing abroad.
Jerry, you have underlying issues, you have family, other than your personal family here, but you have family in Chicago and in Arkansas and all around. What made you really believe that the vaccine was the answer?
I believe in science, and the thing about science is, I've studied about the things that happened in the past, like the Tuskegee experiment, like what happened with in St. Louis with the atomic stuff that you use for bombs and all of that to test, all kinds of things that happen to Black people, and then surgery without anesthesia and all that. But then you have to look at the things that didn't happen or did happen. One, when that was happening, they didn't give us the things that we needed. During the Tuskegee experiment, they didn't give them the penicillin or other vaccines that would help stop this. They let it go on and on and on because they were Black people.
Mm-hmm.
But it was not the vaccine that did it. It was the thing that they withheld that caused these problems. And my science teacher, I never forget, Mr. Burley, used to say he wanted more Black people to go into science and all of that when we were younger, because he was a great science teacher. He knew so much more, and he used to talk about the Tuskegee experiment and other things that happened that I didn't even that I've read about later on, because I wasn't really listening to him at that time the way I should have. But the virus, when you go back and read about the bubonic plague, when you go back and read about scarlet fever, when you go back and read about chicken pox and smallpox and measles and polio and the yellow fever and all that, all of these things was debased because of because of the vaccine. And it's so many other things that have saved people's life because of vaccine. And on top of that, it was a brother from Africa that taught people how to do the vaccine, who was a slave, and showed them how to do vaccine. So we have been at the forefront of the thing from the very beginning, because we were not slaves when we were brought here. We was architects and engineers and all of those, and doctors and all of that was put and forced into slavery. But we were not slaves, didn't know anything when we came here. That's why we were brought here, because we knew things and was building civilization. But going back to science, we were already doing science years and years ago when we were building great cathedrals and pyramids and all of that. And then I was reading something. I got to read this. I talked about the virus of 100 years ago. It said the virus 100 years ago, people they realized they had to stay home. They read books, they listened, and they rested and did exercise. They learned new ways of being and stopping, listen more deeply. Some meditated, someone prayed, someone met their shadows. People began to think differently, and the people headed their absence of people who lived in ignorance. They stopped living in ignorance, in other words, in ways that was dangerous and meaningless and heartless. The earth rise began to heal. So it was letting you know, if we do what we need to do, the earth will heal as well as us. The things around us will heal if we do what is necessary to protect ourselves, because there are people who are looking to the end of the world. The world ends every day for somebody, and the world can end for all of us if we don't do what we need to do to protect ourselves.
That's true. Well, you all, it's almost to the end of the show, and I want everyone to tune in next week. We did a lot. We did a lot of discussion today, but we're going to have some experts on next week. Pastor, do you have the names of the two ladies that will be on next week, and let them know and where they're from? Where did you say they're from? The health department?
they're from Community Health of Northwest Florida. The CEO, her name is Miss Chandra. That's Chandra Smiley. A beautiful personality. And then her wing woman. That's what I want to call her. Her name is Sandra.
Andrew.
I think it's Sandra.
But you try to use that going way back there. You know we can't do that.
Yeah.
You gotta write it down.
I think it's Sandra Robinson. I think that's her
Okay,
name.
good.
And one is black and one is white.
Doesn't matter.
Right, but I'm saying this to say that they said they are literally sisters.
Okay.
Because they will come to an event without having said one word to each other, and they will dress identical.
Wow. All right, then I can't wait. If you have any questions, if you have any doubts, if you have anything that you want to share, tune in next Sunday for our Voices of People's media, and we'll have these two ladies on to discuss again, COVID and the vaccine. Anything else you want to say before we end the show?
Don't forget, the show is being shown on WBQ TV channel 12. I should have said that at the top of the show. Roku, Fire Stick, and also on YouTube with Vernon Watson, and he invites you to his YouTube channel and subscribe to it, and then because it's free, it don't cost you anything to subscribe to it, so it's free. So be sure to subscribe to Vernon's YouTube channel, and be sure to watch his show on channel 12. This show as well on channel 12.1.
Can I add something, Miss?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
And Brother Vernon, I want to subscribe. My daughter shared this with me, that this will help out our Black entrepreneur. When we subscribe to their channels, it doesn't cost us anything, but when they get so many views or so many subscriptions, it will help underwrite their costs. And so everybody that listening, if you would just go out there and subscribe, I strongly encourage you, because he's been a strong supporter of our community.
Okay. Really appreciate it. With that said, y'all, it's 8:30. Great show. We will see everybody next Sunday for the Voices of People's Media. Good night, everybody.
Everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
See you later.